Hi guys, how you doing? Hope you can hear us okay. Let me know if the sound in the video is okay. I haven't got Dale in me yet. He's running a bit late. His train's been delayed from work. So if you could just let me know in the chat if everything's going okay. I know there's a bit of a delay. And I'll just see who's in. Mick's in. We've got Jimmy in. Jeff's in. Dennis. Woody Woodcrafts. Christine Michael. Did I say Jeff? Yeah, I think I said Jeff. Leona's just popped in. No, Woody saying it's looking fine. That's good. Who else is coming in? Oh, Anna's in. Hi, Anna. Right then. Plenty folk in, so I'll get a start. What I've got on here, I'll just change the camera angle so we can see what we're doing. Or change the camera, I should say. Right, so there it is. A nice piece of crotch. I've got the full log on here, so it has still got the pith in various places on this. It has got some cracks. This piece of yew is very old, and it should be very, very dry. So I'm not overly concerned about the cracks and things like that. So we'll get on and do some turning. At the moment, it's about... Oh, Mike's in. Evening, Mike. Matthew, David, Red Eye as well. Dave B's just come in. Jen's in. Donna's in. Nice to have you all with me. Like I said, Dale isn't in me yet. He's been delayed on the train. So it's a piece of yew. It's around about just over 10 inches at the moment, but it's well off centre. So I'm going to be taking a fair amount off here. It's probably going to end up around about 9 inches. It's about 6 inches deep, but again, that'll come down a fair way, so it'll end up around about 4.5 inches deep. No, Nick, because people won't be able to hear us. Nice to see you in, by the way. I'll be standing well out of the firing line anyway. Evening, Stace. Now, which Steve's that? Have I missed some chat? Oh, Fenrica, it'll be that Steve. Right, so tonight I'm going to be using Robert Sorby. This one's a 1/2 inch ball gouge. I'll start taking some bits off the side here. If I'm not happy with how that's going, I'll just get on and start doing the shaping. Turning at around about just under 500 there. Yeah, tool rest a bit closer. Once I get this circled off, I should be able to increase the speed a bit. It should be more balanced. Now, seeing as how Dale isn't in at the moment, I'm not going to be able to follow the chat very well. So if you have any questions and I don't get back to them, I will watch the video back afterwards, and any questions I will answer. Move the tool rest in. In answer to your comment there, Nick, my lungs are absolutely knackered anyway. You know, the thing with turning something like this is that you've got to try and get your tool rest positioned properly. The main strength in the tool rest is this center portion here. Now, these tool rests are made out of cast steel, or cast iron, I should say. So once you get to the edges, they can become very fragile and snap. You're much better off trying to get the stainless steel or the steel tool rests. You're saying you goes funny, David. What do you mean by funny? And I'm not going to stop smoking either, Woody. It's not big enough to go on the VB, Glenn. Nice to see you in, by the way. Evening, David. Evening, Steve. No, that's just my nice accent that makes me sound funny. Evening, Countrywood girl. Evening, Eamon. Right, move that in again. Evening, Huey. Thank you. Well, we're getting there. And thanks to everybody for all the well wishes at the weekend. Right, I think that's enough of that. Start taking some off the bottom now. Oh, Steve. Jane said when I put the link up this morning, Jane said, "Oh, you're not doing another crotch piece, are you? You're just letting yourself in for it again." Oh, thank you, Dave. That's much appreciated, sunshine. Yeah, the weekend, it didn't go too well at the weekend. Funny story. Before I retired, I used to do training for members of staff working in a care at home organisation, and part of the training was food hygiene. And I remember one time saying to this group of people, like I always did in food hygiene, has anybody ever had food poisoning? And if so, do you know what the bacteria was that you had? And a few people put their hands up and a lot of people didn't. I said, well, has anybody ever had an unexplained dose of the runs? And one lass put her hand up and she said, I have. She says, but I think that was because of something I ate. I'll let you figure it out. Yes, Glenn, I've had Campylobacter before as well. And it's probably the most common one in the UK. And you're right, it's not nice. Give us a second, I'm just going to move my tail stock out of the way. That's better. Oh, Doug's in. Evening, Doug. I'm going to move on to me 3/8 bull gouge, and I think it's going to be a bit sharper. Right, let's see how that's going. I've got a fair way to go on the bottom here, because I'm needing to get somewhere that I can put my mortise in. Right, country wood girl, I should say. This one and my half-inch one, they've both got the fingernail grind on them. I use a 45 grind on mine on fingernail. Glyn uses the same grind, but he's actually got one of the long grinds on rather than the fingernail grind. Hiya, Chisky. I don't think all of this bark area here is going to come out or get turned out. It may well do, depends on the shape. But there's a nice big split here where the two branches are coming out, and that's going to look certainly more pronounced once I start turning the inside. Getting a hell of a lot of tear out in this sapwood here, so I'm going to try and get rid of a bit more of that so I can get the mortise in place. Right. I'm up at nearly 700 now. That's a better finish. Right. Clean out the mortise. Now we'll start getting some shape into this. Right, Country Wood Girl, what I tried to do is get the depth of the mortise around about the same depth as the jaws. It doesn't necessarily have to be. I think you use the Axminster Super Chuck, don't you? If I remember rightly. If you use an Axminster jaws, certainly if you're using the C jaws go from 65mm up to 85mm. But the best size of mortise for using the C jaws is actually 67mm. I think I've explained this before, but I'll explain it again with this different set of jaws. I've got the 100mm jaws in my other chuck here, but just to go through this. Right. When the jaws are manufactured, they're actually manufactured in one piece. Then they're cut into 4. So that leaves a space. So when you've got the jaws actually fully closed, they're not actually properly circular. So they will, if you've got them fully closed and try and open them up, they'll only hold on those 4 points there where they join. It's not until you actually open the jaws up a few mil that it actually gets circular. And what you're looking for is all of the surface area clamping onto the wood. If you go the opposite way and have the jaws too far open, for one thing, they could come out of the threaded section in the jaws. But once you get them open really wide like this, again, you're only going to be clamping onto the wood in the mortise in 4 points, the middle of the actual jaws. That's the only areas of metal that's going to be touching wood, which doesn't make for a very secure system. So bear that in mind when you are using a mortise for holding bowls on. I think I saw Andy come in there. Yep, evening Andy. Is Woody still in? Yes, he is. Good. Right, Woody. This camera probably isn't close enough to show this properly, and I'm waiting on Dale coming up to show me how to get it set up for zoom and everything. When you're doing this cut, if you've got the tool all the way down like this and you put the bevel on, obviously nothing's happening. Okay, you're not cutting any of the cutting surface. Get the tool on the rest, get it clamped into your body, and what you do is if you just turn the tool towards you, and you'll start hitting the cutting edge. And that's hitting the cutting edge there. And then you just bring it across, riding the bevel. Like that. Oh, is that glint off? Night glint, unless you've already gone. Some of this sapwood here is actually quite punky, so I'm going to have to be careful when I'm cleaning the inside out, because the last thing I want is to have it fly off. I'm just going to give this gouge a bit of a sharpen and then do probably a final cut or two. Right, I've got one flat spot there that I'm wanting to get rid of. Bring the tool rest round a wee bit, and I should be able to easily pick up that cut again. Yep, that's it. All done. Just get on and get it sanded now. Evening, lads. So you're not off gadding about the country tonight, are you not? There we are, that's sanded to 240. Just going to do a wee bit of hand sanding in here, not very much. A couple of furry bits to get rid of. Oh my God. Right, I'm just putting the sanding sealer on so everybody can take a break. Donna's brought in the tea trolley. That's just soaking right in, that is. There's no worse, Steve, no worse. Now we'll come on to the, never get the light right for this, Yorkshire grit. Apply it with the lathe stationary, or just being turned by hand. It's not really stationary. Give it a good rub in. Now, people have said to me in the past, why don't you knock the sanding sealer back with one of the Scotch-Brite pads? I says, well, what's the point? I'm using an abrasive paste on top of it. That's going to knock it back all it needs. Turn the speed down. I'll be running at around about 250 for this, just to start getting it rubbed in. If your lathe doesn't go down to 250, run it at the low speed you can. Use the piece of paper that you applied the Yorkshire grit with, and just keep on rubbing it in. Let the abrasive in the paste do its work. Are you having problems with the software, Steve? See, that's the thing, Steve. All this up-to-date tech stuff. It's much easier playing about with a piece of crotch. It was an advert, Woody. Turn the speed up, clean piece of paper, carry on working it in. And what you want to do is keep on changing the paper until eventually the paper comes away relatively clean, and that shows the abrasive has done its work. 63 watching, my God. You can tell it's midweek and there's nothing on the telly. That was a stupid thing to say, there's never anything on the telly. Now I think for this one I'm going to use microcrystalline wax, because I get the impression once I put this into one of the shops, it's going to be one of them ones that people want to pick up and have a closer look at. And microcrystalline wax is good for not showing up fingerprints. No, I'm sure I've said this before as well. With any of the waxes that people use, once the solvent is evaporated out of the wax, you can actually go back over this either with a buffing wheel in a drill, or if you happen to own a buffing system, you could use that to give it an even better shine. Now usually, see, can you, yeah, that's it. It's not showing up too bad. Now, all the bowls you've probably seen me turn in the past, I've just had a 67mm hole drilled into the top. About that way. Yeah, 67mm hole drilled into the top. Because of this particular piece and the size of it and the awkwardness of it, I decided to use a faceplate ring. And the screws just snapped. That's going to prove some problems. And that's two snapped. See if I can snap all six. Yeah, that's another one. Right, 5 out of the 6 screws snapped. So we're going to have a laugh doing this. Evening, Mike. Evening, ET. Last time I was in Calgary, Mike, was 1979. Right. I'm just wondering which tool to use so I can bore down to remove the screws, because I'm not going to dig them out. I don't think I'll be able to dig them out or turn them out with a set of pliers. Now, always check your tool rest. And I use long screws as well. I use bloody 2-inch screws in this. No. Taking a bit longer than I expected tonight. One of them things. I think that's Dale on the phone. Yep, there's the phone. Evening, Dale. Hang on, I'll just check my speaker. Can you hear me? No? Bear with me, guys. Right. I'm just trying to sort the speaker out, Dale. That's better. Can you hear me okay, Dale? Grand. All the screws snapped off on my faceplate ring. And I used bloody 2-inch screws, didn't I? But at least it hasn't flown off yet. Which is always a bonus. All right. No, they are definitely not coming out. Definitely not. Right, going a bit farther. Hi, Sunny. No, can't find the flimmer tool I'm looking for. Isn't that typical? No, I very much doubt if it. No, hammer won't work with it. Yeah, but the way down, they're all the way in. I mean, there's 2-inch screws. We will carry on. So one of them. Evening, Doc. This is called the chatter tool. Who was that? Oh yeah, it's been doing a training course, hasn't you? Normal service will be resumed as soon as possible. Is everybody letting them know that I snapped all the screws on the faceplate ring? We're getting there. No, I don't think so. Evening, Dr. D. Yeah, it is, Leona, you're right. Nah, Donna, that's a bit pointless. Well, usually I don't use a faceplate, but seeing as how this piece was a bit on the chunky side, I decided to use the faceplate ring. I probably should have just cleaned out a flat spot and used my usual forcing a bit. No, Jen, actually there weren't. And I did drill a pilot hole as well. Thanks, Nick. What do I learn by this, David? Go with your gut instincts to start off with. Yep, definitely. That's it. Done. Sorted. Right, I'll just double check the tightness on this chuck, seeing as how I've been messing about. There we go. How am I doing for far enough away from the, or close enough to the, that's just touching. Thanks, Leona. I just hope I got them all out. That wasn't bad though, was it? It was very, very easy, Jen. I put the screwdriver on there, turned it, and it snapped. Thanks, Stace. Right, back to turning. Let's crank the speed up a bit more. Now, you know what's going to happen now, don't you? It's going to fly off anyway because there's a flaming great split in it. It's when you get down to this area here that you realise you've left one of the screws in and the bolt flies off. Yeah, oh dear me. How did that happen? I did, D. I checked. All right, now the decision. Well, what's the point in watching that? We all know he's going to get off. You're here all week, Mick, are you? Right, before I go any further, wall thickness. What should I go for wall thickness? I'll go a little bit thinner, not too much though. Is that a super chat? All right, thanks, David. Alright, here we go, one more. Now this isn't the hardest wood I've turned, but it's getting close to it. Let's move the tool rest in a bit. Evening, Thrifty. I'm going to move to me bigger gouge. EML, definitely crotch. I don't know where EML is from. Oh, evening, Hopper. Because I think he's only just started watching my videos, because he did have a comment on. He's been in a while. He's probably just noticed you here. Evening, Billy. Dulce. Right, just got to give this a sharpen. Just got a bit of a ridge down here I want to get rid of. Thanks, EML. It's getting a nice thickness on there, or thinness on there, however you want to look at it. I'll just get the rest of this middle cleaned out and then that should be us. Let's see if I can get my tool rest any closer. Yeah. Look for second hand. Nice one, Claire. Evening, Phil. Now, I'm just going to take a wee bit more. I've still got plenty to play with in the bottom, so I'm just going to deepen it a wee bit. That's why they were always planted in churchyards. There we go. Right then. Quick sand, quick finish, then we'll be done. Yes, it is poisonous. So, as a general rule, I never use it for anything that's going to be holding food. Now again, as you can see, this is a natural edge, so we've got bits higher than other bits. And if you are using one of these, using the sanding pad, always use the bottom part of the pad. Don't use the top part of the pad. Can't see that there. Don't use the top part of the pad, because as the piece comes around on the different levels, you're going to get a catch. Okay, so always use the bottom part of the pad. No, it's everything. The dust isn't good for you. Any wood dust isn't good for you. Oh, good. That's good news, Doug. Right, so that was 80. Go on. Right. That's nice of you, Leona. It's nice to hear you thinking about somebody. Now, obviously, none of the bark has stayed on this, but I'm not one of these people that get tremendously upset if the bark on a natural edge bowl isn't there, like some people do. I keep on changing the name. If the bark's on, it's natural edge. If the bark's off, it's live edge. That's the biggest load of bollards I've heard as well. So again, going back to the Yorkshire grit, be very careful when you're doing natural edge bowls and you're putting your finish on, or any of the abrasive paste that you happen to use. The last thing you want is to get your finger caught. It can be terribly sore, and you may well shout. It goes something like, go on. No, I think he's using his pyro. Oh, it definitely is back in the workshop. I'm pleased you didn't put that in the chat. Yes, I know, EML. Yeah, well, right, and again, I'm going to use. Thank you. I'm going to use microcrystalline wax again. I'm just leaving the edge or the rim of the bowl. I'm just leaving that with the sanding sealer on there. I could put some oil or something on, but I'm not going to bother. And just a quick wipe over. What I'll probably do with this, I'll leave it as it is overnight. I'll take it in the house and take some photographs to put up on social media tomorrow. But in the morning, I'll bring it back out and I'll go over it with my buffing wheel. But one thing I am going to do, there are a few voids here where the two branches are coming together. So there's a few voids here, and there is some wax within those voids. You've got to be very careful when you get wax inside voids, because when some waxes, not all of them, but when some waxes dry, they can go white, and it takes away from the appearance of the bowl. And I've actually got quite a lot of wax around the top, which I'll just give a quick wipe off. And I'm just going to blow out the wax that's in these voids here. Right, and that is us done. Dr. D, it's the chestnut. Go on. Yeah, it's a Chestnut Products cellulose sand and sealer. I either use that or I use the acrylic sand and sealer. Right, let's see if I can get this. There we go. That's it. It'll obviously show up a lot better than this when I take the photographs. Thank you, Leona. Thanks, Red Eye. Thanks, Mick. Aye, it can be a bit off-putting, Mick. You're right there. Thanks, Country Wood Girl. Don't mind asking questions, by the way, Country Wood Girl. I don't mind answering them. So you want to carry on asking questions, that's fine by me. Yeah. A lot of people do, and they absolutely love it. Right, guys. I think that's going to be me for the night. Thanks for coming in. I hope you enjoyed it. Apart from the bit in the middle when I was hammering away trying to get rid of them bloody broken off screws. Thanks, Killing My Time. Thanks, Rub-a-Dub. Thanks, EML. Thanks, Mike. Phil. Right then. I think that's about us for the night, guys. So I'm just going to come out of this now. Like I say, I'll put photographs up. I'll have a look back through the video a bit later on, just to see if I missed any questions, a chat. And if there's anything that I did miss and people are wanting an answer, I will message them. Okay. Night for now. My mouse isn't working now.